How are we all doing, folks? Welcome to the Candle Enthusiast. I am your host, Shane Carlson, and today I am on my main channel. That's right. Maybe a lot of you don't even know that I have another channel, and soon to be a third channel. But today I'm on the main channel. I thought I'd go live because I haven't posted an edited video on this channel for the longest time. I've been on an extended hiatus. Got a lot of fun projects. I'm working on a new film. I really had planned to be back posting new videos weekly at this point, but you know how life goes. But to make it up, I thought I would at least maybe start posting a few live videos. For those of you, just real quick, that are familiar with my travel videos, if you've seen me go to amusement parks or tourist destinations, inns, all of that stuff, and you're confused by the name, the Candle Enthusiast, this channel is a kind of a conglomeration of candles, candle evaluations, candle appreciation, aromatic appreciation, but also I do my travel based videos. My third channel that will be launching very soon will have all of my just my travel videos. So if you're not into candles, don't get scared, don't back away. Don't say I'm not into candles and walk. We've established a relationship here. Let's not lose it. But we are going to be talking about candles today. Back in October, Halloween, I had so many Halloween autumn candles to evaluate. I'm going to pull you guys up. We are live, so this way I can see your comments. I see you guys trickling in. Back in October, I had just too many candles to evaluate. I put a lot of time into editing my videos and try to give them a little bit of production value to kind of set the stage, set the mood for everyone tuning in. And an acquaintance of mine, I can't say a friend, I've never met her, but you're probably familiar if you're a candle fan and if you're on Instagram. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of SiC Wicks. That's right, SiC Wicks. And these candles are, I think it's safe to say, horror, spooky, gothic, little bit gruesome, inspired candles. Not necessarily Halloween, but more of the horror film inspired candles. So with that said, if that's not your cup of tea, if you're not into the spooky stuff, you're a little squeamish, just a little heads up, because jFEAR, or which jFEAR is her, I guess, her Instagram personality, the fantastic creator of these candles, but I know her as Jaymes, and she sent me this box, like I said, all the way back on Halloween, and I just never got to it, and it's been sitting literally on my shelf, you know, for me to break into it. And I said, why am I waiting? Why am I waiting? I've never smelled any of her candles. I've never burned any of her candles, but I have been a longtime follower of hers on Instagram, and I know a lot of folks who are fans. So I want to welcome everyone in the chat room. Please feel free to ask any questions along the way. I'm going to try to keep my eye down here so I can answer questions. Just let me know if you have anything you'd like to ask, and let me know if everything looks okay and sounds okay. Do I sound good? Is the volume all right? We're dealing with the new setup here. So let's jump right into it. It's already been several minutes, and I see some of you guys have already hit that thumbs up button. Please don't forget to do that. That is really helpful. It really lets YouTube know that you enjoy this kind of content. Now, I'm really interested for my viewers who are tuning in right now who don't watch my candle content. If you are one of them, please get on your phone, get on your computer, get in the chat. Don't be lurking. Let me know what you think. So this is it. This is the package that I received. It came in a bigger box. And right from the get-go, now I apologize if the image, it is going to be reversed or a mirrored image. So I'll help you out if you can't read backwards. This says, for you. Now I didn't, this box didn't fall apart, right? This is how it came. It's wrapped in twine, gnarly, twisted, crunchy duct tape. It's even, check this out. Can you see that? It's not real water stains, but she decorates the box with such detail. It looks like this box has been sitting in a basement for ages, right? And that for you, that's creepy. But this is as far as I've gotten. Let's jump into this. Now, usually when I do my edited videos, they're edited for a reason, because it takes me, sometimes it takes me several minutes to kind of figure out what I want to say, what I'm smelling when I smell that candle, how I want to describe it. But what's fun about doing these live evaluations is that I have to be really thinking on my feet, try to be on my A game. For you guys who don't know, this is not me boasting, but I worked in the wine industry for years, so I would quite literally have my nose in a glass of wine all day long, or different glasses of wine all day long, evaluating aromatics. And that's really how I got into doing these evaluations on candles, because I've always been a candle lover. Oh man, I don't even know how to go about this. Do I just, is it I can just rip this? I don't even need to cut it. I should cut it. Does anyone follow SICKWIX on Instagram? Has anyone burned any of their candles? If you have, what has been your experience? Are you a horror fan? Horror fan. Sometimes people say I say the word weird sometimes. Do you like spooky movies? And if you do, what kind of spooky movie? Oh, there's a note here on the inside. I'm doing my best here. This is why I like to edit. It says, "Thank you so much, sir. I hope you love your candles. It was my pleasure, truly. Love, jFEAR." Wow. Aesthetically, this is insane. Got some tissue paper, and it looks like we have 3 boxes that are dressed equally. Let's just break these open. Let's speed this up. Kind of feel like I'm taking my time here. I have some SICKWIX candles. She has some really fun candles, says Morgan. Now, Morgan, I remember you telling me that you had purchased some candles. This knife is so dull. And I don't mean dull as in lame. I mean like it has no sharpness. Alright, let's do this. I should be showing you guys. Alright, so we have a very similar box to what it came in. Black tissue paper. Whoa boy. Alright. Oh man, I am so sorry that the image is reversed here. Let me take this out of the plastic. Because you gotta see this up close. Now the name of this candle says right here, Blood Bourbon Apple. Blood Bourbon Apple. But, oh my god. Look at this. Can we see that tumbler? It's going to be a little bit soft focus for you guys. Oh, there it goes. This new webcam has autofocus, so you see that. So poison, caution, completely denatured alcohol, Moon Drug Company. I don't know if this is like a real vintage like caution poison labeled. That's what it looks like. If candles had candle labeling had to be passed through like the stages of like wine and stuff, it takes forever for some wine companies to get their labels approved. This would never pass. You can having poison on a product is the Trade and Tax Bureau. I don't like that. But you see the grime, the nastiness, even the bottom label, it's like stained. And you know, it's on there good. It's not like making my hands dirty. It's not like she just like dunked this in some coffee grounds. So the name of this was Blood Bourbon Apple. And trust me, I can already smell it. Look at that wax. That is, I don't know what kind of wax we have here. There might be some literature inside the box here. That's always the first thing I look for. I didn't notice it, but it looks like it's not the softest wax in the world. There might be a little bit of soy in there, but I'm guessing that is going to be mainly paraffin. Oh man. Blood Bourbon Apple. Okay, so no blood. That's a good thing. No iron-rich bloodiness happening here, but man, is this is Halloween. This is October for sure. I'm just trying to figure out where to start. I guess the place we have to start is the enormous apple component, which makes sense. Apple is in the title, but we have to get this out of the way. And I love using Macintosh apples as a descriptor on fragrances, because if you've ever had a Macintosh apple, like a fresh Macintosh apple, especially if you went to apple country and picked it off a tree or picked it fresh, you know, from the crate, and you smell it, the fragrance of the skin of that apple is so unique. It has this perfumey, almost floral-like sweetness. And I grew up in apple country, and man, right off the bat, sending me to harvest season, because I'm smelling that Macintosh apple. And it's a fresh Macintosh apple. This isn't like, you know, just like apple pie filling. But going off of that, definitely a pastry. I would say this is structured like a pastry candle, right? To me, I'm getting coffee cake, getting brown sugar, I'm getting caramel. Really, really big one here. I am getting bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. Really, I'm just smelling maple syrup, but I want to put bourbon barrel aged maple syrup in there because bourbon is in the title of this candle. But there is that sweet, really robust maple syrup, and not the corn syrup maple syrup. We're talking about the real deal, the real maple syrup. I said coffee cake, but really what this is all about is, although we smell that fresh apple, this is a sugar encrusted, caramel encrusted apple pie crust, encrusted crust. That doesn't sound good. Well, sugar encrusted apple pie crust. It's crumbly, crumbly. Maybe the edge of the pie, the rim of the pie is a little bit overdone sometimes, and it's really toasted and crumbly. But down on the center of that crust, right in the middle, it's nice and doughy, maybe even slightly undercooked. So there is a really like toasted quality to this pastry note. But at the same time, there's this pastry dough aromatic. So definitely, summing this up, apple skin McIntosh, to be more specific, any Yankee Candle fans out there, really just think of the classic Yankee Candle McIntosh apple, the McIntosh fragrance. It is that definitive apple with that unique, like I said, floral apple skin quality with the brown sugar, the maple syrup, a little bit of nuttiness, but I don't want to go there too much. Maybe I'm smelling more of a woody component. Sometimes what I can do is I can split the difference and say, because there's spices in here, baking spices, let's say like cinnamon, nutmeg. Nutmeg is a little bit woody. So this doesn't smell like, to me, this doesn't smell like a barrel, like a wood barrel or a coffee table or timber or Home Depot. It's not that kind of wood. But because of that maple syrup and because of another vanilla quality. I wish there were fragrance notes. I know there's definitely not fragrance notes here, but brown sugar, vanilla, apple pie crust, McIntosh apple. Again, blood bourbon apple. Not a boozy candle, but I like the choice of using bourbon in the title because bourbon barrels, oak barrels, when you age a beverage inside of those barrels, they impart vanilla flavors. It's called vanillin. It's a compound in the wood that actually imparts this vanilla aroma and flavor. Especially if you're like a big robust Chardonnay fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And speaking of Chardonnay, we gotta throw butter in there. This is really lot of descriptors to say in this one. On these spontaneous evaluations, I try to do that quick, but that one is a bit, it's not as easy to do that one quick. So far, so good, but let's keep going because we have a lot of stuff here. Let's look down here. How are we doing? Where is SiC Wicks? Where is it? Like, where's the company based out of? I don't know. Where you can find them in the description of this video. You can find them on Instagram, SiC Wicks, SiC, SICKWIX. Also, SickWicks.etsy.com is where you can buy their products. And yes, Morgan says very small batch candle company through Etsy. Very small to the point where I don't think she actually has candles in stock all year round. Because it is a one-woman show. We got to support the small batch candle companies. Candle number 2. That was a really good candle. And I guess a testament is, I know that these candles have shelf life, right? Because, like I said, that thing's been sitting on my shelf for a long time. Sometimes small batch candle companies, you buy them to burn them because they don't have long shelf lives. Sometimes. But that one certainly did. Alright. This is insane, guys. Look at this. A little bit of a 1803 or cottage wicks looking mason jar there. That looks like a jar that has been sitting in a garage shelf for about 45 years. That's not real rust. That is a wonderful paint job on this mason jar lid. There's that focus. And the name of this candle is Pumpkin Pecan Waffles. Pecan or Pumpkin Pecan Waffles. Let me open this up. So this is a mason jar, a different format than we saw. Got a little bit of twine there. It looks like we have the same kind of wax. And wow, and really, I just want to make sure you can see the griminess on the glass here. Really cool. Really, really cool stuff. The attention to detail is very much appreciated. And I like this. I like candles with lids. The last one didn't have a lid. I always have different kind of tops that I can put on candles that don't come with lids. But I love jars. I love lids, screw tops, rubber gaskets, whatever it may be. I just find that they last longer. Plus, I have too many to count candles in this studio, where if none of these candles had lids, there would be some serious problems. There would be way too much aromatics in this room. This is really good. Okay, so one thing I did not mention about the last candle, that was a solid medium plus intensity candle. Now, again, I'm doing a cold sniff here. We're not burning, all right? Keep that in mind at all times. I'm not burning these, I'm smelling these cold, but I've done this enough where I think I usually can give a good estimated guess how these candles will burn, the intensity of the candles, how they will burn when they're lit by smelling them cold. Sometimes I'm way off, but sometimes I'm not. So the last one was a medium plus. This one is right there. Maybe a step back. Let's say a medium. Super delicious, man. We're gonna be talking about a lot of the same things here. This is a very autumn forward candle. Pumpkin spice. What is pumpkin spice? I have to repeat myself all the time sometimes, so I apologize if you guys have heard me say this spiel over and over again. So pumpkin spice has nothing to do with pumpkin itself, right? The gourd, the pumpkin. Forget about it. Get rid of the pumpkin. Pumpkin spice does not smell like a pumpkin, right? When you say pumpkin spice, you're talking about a combination of baking spices that you use to spice pumpkin pie or other pumpkin treats. And you can use any spices that you want, but typically the pumpkin spice recipe is ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon. These days everyone's adding clove and more exotic spices, and I think that's a good point because whereas apple pie spice will be cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and sometimes clove, I feel like we have all the spices here. I feel like if there's one that's not really pumping out or standing out to me, I should say, is the clove. This is not a baking spice explosion. I'm telling you, I love baking spices. I mean, that's what autumn fragrances are all about. But if these candles that have the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the star anise, the clove, the cardamom, the coriander, these powerful, especially things like nutmeg, right? These are powerful spices. If the spices aren't restrained or balanced, it's just gonna dominate the candle, and all you're gonna be smelling is, like I said, like you threw a cherry bomb into grandma's baking spice cabinet. That's not what we want. To me, this is restrained. It's not mild, a lot of spices, but it is restrained. It's held back. It's not, I don't throw my head back when I smell it from the spiciness. And what's going to help that is that word, balance. It's balanced by the creaminess. There is the vanilla, the heavy cream. This smells almost like a cheesecake. And if you don't like cheesecake, don't worry about that. But my point is that it's creamy, really, really heavy cream. And I'll go as far as to say is like cream cheese, pumpkin spice cream cheese filling. Oh yeah, and maybe a little bit of like marshmallow filling in there. We're definitely getting that pecan. We could say pecan. We can say walnut. It's a roasted candy kind of pecan. What I really, really, I think I need to say is pecan praline. I haven't had many pecan pralines in my lifetime. Pralines is just a big fragrance description on a lot of candles. So it's important, I would say, if you're evaluating candles, to have that in your library of descriptions. Pecan pralines, sugar concoction of roasted pecans, lots of butter, and vanilla. What was the other thing I wanted to say? There is. I mean, I can't imagine this would be in here, but there's something that's giving me this dried fruit effect. Ooh, honey graham cracker, Teddy Grahams. Oh yeah, I said Teddy Grahams. You heard me right. Like, I don't know, maybe like a little bit of like a dried cranberry. No, I know that's not probably in here, but with all of this sweetness, I feel like I'm getting that note. So, really in the same category as the last candle. This is savory, this is salty, this is buttery, this is big on the baking spices, and it's balanced with the spice and the creaminess. This one does have a little bit of that pecan praline, a little bit of that nuttiness, maybe like a lightly roasted coffee bean aroma. Hazelnut's probably a good nut to use for this candle, but really not all that much different. I think the one thing that separates this from the last candle is the apple component. So very good. I would say if you like apple, go with the first one. If you're a little bit more of the pumpkin spice latte, if you're that kind of person, go with, I'm never going to remember these names, pumpkin pecan waffles. All right, we have the last box here, and then it looks like there's these Max wax melts, tarts. There's a lot of them in here, so we'll take a look at those. But I really like the smell out of the candle. I'll show you them. And I hope, because she gave me these a while ago, if you're interested in any of these, I hope that they're in stock, or that they're not like at least that she's still making them. Because that would be horrible, wouldn't it? That like I'm getting you excited about these candles, and then you go to purchase it, and she's not making it anymore. It looks like yet another format. 3-wick tumbler. 3-wick tumbler. these names are outrageous. Looks like we have that same wax. I really wish she left some literature on these candles. But I'm sure all the details are on our Etsy page. This one is called Die Pumpkin Pie. And I apologize again once more for that reversed image. And you know what? I wanted to do this earlier. Let's do this right now. I feel like I should show you. Let's take a look real quick at SICKWIX Instagram page. Now again, if your kids are watching, or if you are a kid, you know, or if you're just squeamish, this is, you know, her deal is being a little bit on the disturbing, a little bit on the spooky, sexy side, kind of like Elvira with a little bit more gore and gruesome. But if this is not your cup of tea, you know, I always like to, you know, pride myself as a family-friendly show, but let's show you what it looks like here. Let's desktop. Bam. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. You know, I'm still getting used to this stuff. Let me make sure I have that right. Okay, so that looks right. So Instagram, SickWicks, 22,000 followers, and that is quite insane. Good for Jaymes. Let me refresh that page. And zoom out. 22,000 followers. And I was watching this before. Check this out. This is kind of cool. It's got like a Miami Vice sort of thing here. And that is quite insane. Good for. It sounds like a rap with my voice in the background. So that looks like a new collection from her. But she does a lot of her own photography. She's unquestionably, you know, a makeup artist. She posts these incredibly fun photographs of herself made up. Obviously, she's playing Tiffany from the Chucky franchise here. She does her own makeup. She does her own photography. She does these really fun, like, animations and Photoshop photos. Let's see, and no question, big horror film fan. And speaking of child's play, look at this candle right here, Friends to the End with Chucky's sweater. And look how she's promoting these candles. That's a bloody chef's knife there. Yeah, and it's lit really nicely. I like it. Definitely not everyone's cup of tea. Like I said, if you're into kind of the good old nostalgic friendly candles, but you know what, there's got to be something for everybody. Fresh baked sugar cookies. Look at that video on Instagram. What application makes these videos? Really cool. So make sure you check out jFEAR, Jaymes, SiC Wicks, and if you do go over and whoa, where are you? Bam, there we go. If you go over to SiC Wicks on Instagram and you follow, make sure you leave a comment and let Jaymes know that I sent you, right? Why is this a good thing? Because she lovingly, kindly gave me these candles for evaluation. And, you know, I want to make sure that these folks who send stuff my way, products my way, I want them to know that you guys are are hearing about them. You're seeing it. You're seeing them. You're seeing content made on them. She's fully aware that I didn't get to her candles in October, but just drop my name, and then this way, if we want to work more with SiC Wicks in the future, she'll send us more candles, right? That's how you pull off being a modest YouTuber, because you make no money being a YouTuber, so you got to figure out a way to do it somehow. Send stuff my way. I'll evaluate it. I'll tell you what I think. So for that, huge shout out for Jaymes for sending these candles. All right, let's get to this. Die pumpkin pie. So again, we're dealing with another baking spice. I haven't smelled it yet, but I'm guessing a baking spice, pumpkin spice more specifically, candle here. So let's see how this one's going to be a little different. Now again, no top here, so that's a little bit harder, and I can tell right off the bat it's not because this candle is not as intense as the last ones, but because it has no lid, the fragrance doesn't get a chance to build up when it becomes volatile inside the jar. And then when you pump that lid, you get that big blast of it, especially if you haven't opened that jar in a long time. But there's no lid, the aroma constantly escapes. So this is always a little bit more challenging. A little trick is when I'm editing my videos and I have something like this, I will pause, I will break out. You guys have seen me use this before. I recommend every Candle Enthusiast, casual fan, get themselves one of these. Do I even have a place to plug this in? I do. This is just a regular, very inexpensive arts and crafts heat gun, and I used this actually last week on my second channel. It's like a blow dryer, just without a big fan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna melt this. I'm just gonna hit this with a little bit of heat, just a little bit. What that'll do is it's like a wax melt or a tart, right? And a tart warmer. What happens is the heat melt the wax. The oils, the fragrance oils locked inside that wax, will volatilize, become airborne, and it'll be a little bit easier to smell. So again, I'm not gonna hit this with a lot of heat. I just want to warm it up just a little bit. See, I can already, oh man, there it is. Ooh. I like this one. It's funny, because this one has pumpkin pie in the title, and I feel like man, we gotta come up with new descriptors. It's hard when you have three candles in the same genre. To me, what stands out about this one is that there is spicy atomic fireball cinnamon. They're really spicy Saigon cinnamon aroma. However, it's not, again, bam, hit you in the face. It's not like someone just threw that atomic fireball at your face, right? It's not like that. But you can definitely smell the difference between a mild cinnamon and that spicy, red hot candy, hot tamale candies, atomic fireball, big red chewing gum, kind of a spicy cinnamon. And out of all of these, this one has the actual wood aroma. Now, I'm not getting, I'll be honest, where the other ones, medium plus, again, there's no lid here, but this, to me, this is falling in a medium minus, light plus. You probably really have to burn this to get a perfect read on it. But this does have that woodiness. This has that barrel, that oak barrel that that I was talking about before. It even has a new timber aroma. So working at the wineries in Napa Valley, one winery I worked for, one of my favorite producers of wine in Napa Valley, I worked for Cakebread Cellars in Rutherford / Oakville, right in the center of Napa Valley. And every year they would get a huge shipment of brand new, freshly constructed, freshly toasted French oak barrels. And each barrel, $1,500 each barrel, and thousands of these barrels would come in off these trucks, and they'd fill up the cellars with these brand new barrels. And that fresh oak is so aromatic and it's so distinct, and it doesn't smell like Home Depot. That's the hardest thing to explain to someone. It doesn't smell like a 2x4. French oak has this wonderful sweet and spicy, and again, vanilla aroma. So when I say woodiness, it's not, I don't mean like we're sniffing on a log or a piece of bark outside. This is still a savory, delicious even kind of woodiness. I would say a little bit of star anise, maybe some more exotic spices here, but really it's kind of straightforward. It smells really good. It smells really good, but it's that spicy cinnamon, it's the nutmeg, it's the vanilla, and a little bit of some kind of a wood accord, whether it be a sandalwood, whether it be teak, whatever it may be. I'm guessing there's some form of woodiness, maybe even something like vetiver, or some kind of aroma that smells like root systems, like you just pulled out, a turnip out of the ground, right? Not the soil, but the actual root systems themselves. Or like, I love it. Okay. Hay bales, the really big circular hay bales. You ever see them just sitting out in the farm? And then you get an autumn rain, right? So they get all saturated and wet. And then you smell them after a little bit of rain has hit them. You get this really wonderful, aromatic, dried hay, hayride, call it what you will, kind of aroma. And I'm gonna go on a limb. I don't think there's much of any fruit going on in here, but my mind can fill in the gaps. This is kind of, instead of a pumpkin pie, this is reminding me of like a baked apple, more specifically a baked poached pear. I like that, yeah. Like a poached, like a pumpkin spice, poached pear, maybe that's been soaking in some brandy or rum that was aged in that French oak barrels. Die pumpkin pie by SICKWIX Candle. What do we think? I have not looked at the comments. I'm still getting used to this format. Let's read some of these comments here. Shane, I am still holding out for your 4th channel. Will you give time to debut the 3rd channel, the 3rd one first, in which you join the dark side and call yourself Candle Lamp Enthusiast? Candle Lamp Enthusiast. I will. You know what? I never thought I would have a 2nd channel. So to say I won't have a 4th channel I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm seeing a lot of folks impressed by the looks of the candle, and a lot of hellos that I missed. Hello to everyone joining in today. Remember, hit that thumbs up button. There's 25 people watching, but only 14 thumbs up. Let's help that out. Mary says, "Hi Shane, so glad that you're live." Mary, if you don't know, if anyone doesn't know, I'm sorry for everyone who knows, especially the moderators that are joining in here. I have a second channel. It's called Aromatically Speaking, and for almost a year and a half, every Sunday, I went live and did what I'm doing right now. These days, I'm trying to not go live so often, just because I do have a lot on my plate, a lot of projects, and I don't want to become too redundant. But make sure anybody swing over, make sure you subscribe to Aromatically Speaking. It's this laid back, exclusively live channel, all live content. If we get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, we were well over 1,000 subscribers on this channel, but if we get to that 1,000 subscribers on that second channel, we can go back to doing out and about mobile device, my cell phone, right? We could get back to doing lives outside, out in the forest, out at Yankee Candle Village, out and about, wherever we want to go, we can go live via the mobile device. But YouTube changed the policy. If you don't have 1,000 subscribers, which that second channel doesn't have, you can't go live other than being tethered to your computer the way I am right now. So Aromatically Speaking, please, from the bottom of my heart, if you could do me a huge solid, huge favor, swing on over, hit subscribe, watch some lives, and you know what? If you don't like the lives, if it's not your thing, unsubscribe some other time. We'll still be friends. That's true. And then the third channel, I'll be pushing that as well. Speaking of pushing, a while back, I had a limited edition Candle Enthusiast mug. Those of you who are fans of the Mary Tyler Moore Show will recognize this. How with this kind of this pattern. It was the main titles of the sequence, but I made this limited edition mug at 50, and it got to a point where I sold I think it was 42 of them, and I just stopped pushing it. I only had 8 left, but I do have some. So reach out if you want one. I still have a handful. Why Mary Tyler Moore? Well, if you type in the Candle Enthusiast Mary Tyler Moore in the search bar on YouTube, you'll find my Mary Tyler Moore video, and should explain this mug. But I will say, this mug makes the coffee taste extra special. Plus, you'd be kind of part of the Candle Enthusiast Club. And what's safe to say is I don't make a dime, not even a penny on these things. I swear to you. By the time I order these, get them printed, get them shipped to me, and by the time I ship them to you, I'm not making money. I just wanted you guys to have... I've never had merchandise before. There's going to be merchandise in the future, but this was the only merchandise I've ever had. Like I said, no money made here. I just wanted people to have them. All right, so first time watching you live, says Marielle. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. That's great, Marielle. Thank you for joining me live. Again, I have a live channel, Aromatically Speaking. Make sure you check that out. If there's any administrators in here, maybe every now and then you can kind of plug that channel. Hate to make you guys work, but or not administrators, but moderators. But how can we reach to buy one, Shane? What you can do is, I used to have them just up on eBay, and I'm going to be posting a bunch of really fun stuff on eBay soon, some of which I have right here. But what you can do is just send me an email, Candle Enthusiast at yahoo.com. It's in the description below. And just write in bold letters, TCE, Candle Enthusiast mug. And what we can do is, if you want to pay via PayPal, if you can do that, that would be more than efficient. And then maybe I'll put up the remaining ones up on eBay. Ooh, this is good. Eric says we need a Candle Enthusiast kindergarten comp. It's not a Tuma-inspired shirt. Write these ideas down, Eric, because that's what I am doing. I have several T-shirts, totes, that's right, hats, hoodies that I'm designing. Some are specifically for Halloween, some are for Christmas, but I'm looking for fun, cool ideas. I want to know what you guys want to buy when it comes to T-shirts, what you guys want. Thank you, Eric, for posting that link. There's that Aromatically Speaking link. Check that out, subscribe, and check out some of the old videos. We did some really weird stuff in the past. Who else do we have here? I'm seeing a lot of faces that are new to me, unless you guys have just changed your avatars. Elizabeth Jeannie Walker. Yeah, she's saying a candle lamp. Somehow I'm seeing something very Aladdinish, kind of like the Moroccan oil lamp. I was actually going to buy one for the shelf back there, but because of the movie right now, they're so expensive on eBay. Right. And if I missed any of your comments, if you really have a question, throw it back. Don't feel ashamed of saying it a few times. Can you show the candles I missed as I signed on late? Says Lael? Lael? I like Eric will make fun of me. I'm the worst at pronouncing names. Yes, so SiC Wicks, the first one, or the last one we just evaluated. I apologize one more time, mirrored image, but this one's called Die Pumpkin Pie. Again, take a look at, I hope my hands are clean, the detail, the griminess on these tumblers. Three wicks, close together, but looks very symmetrical. I would love to do time lapses of these candles burning. This one to me was big time a baking spice, a little bit of, what did I say? I don't even remember what I said. This one was big time Macintosh Apple. Look at that label. Now this one was called Blood Bourbon Apple. But that label it's got this really retro, maybe even real, maybe this is just like, maybe it's like photocopied, but like a real poison caution label from, looks like World War II era, late 30s, early 40s. Again, the grime red, big baking spice. Ooh, look at that hair. And Macintosh Apple. And then check out this mason jar. This is by and large my favorite look. I would, if I was ordering from SiC Wicks, I would want every single one of my candles to come in one of these mason jars. This is what I like. Beautiful mason jar. Again, it's not rusted, but it's painted to look that way. This one was called Pumpkin Pecan Waffles, and it definitely had that pecan praline nuttiness. All three of these are in the same category, so I highly recommend swinging on over to see what is available right now. Maybe she's got things that are not strictly autumn. And I have a few more things, some of those wax tarts. I'm not going to spend too much time smelling them, but I'll at least show you the names of them. I'm curious as well. I took a brief peek. Campfire Carnage. I have to work on this focus. Again, a new webcam, guys. I apologize. Campfire Carnage. And it's been poured in a mold of a Jason hockey mask, which is kind of cool. Very thin. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm smelling a lot of plastic from the back. See, it's just too hard for me to... Wow. At first, you ever smell something and you're like, I'm not really getting that much, and then suddenly, bam, your brain registers something, and then you can't stop smelling it. Heavily roasted, almost burnt marshmallow, but still very sweet, you know, marshmallow fluff. So smoky marshmallow, Campfire Carnage with the Jason mask makes sense. Camp Crystal Lake. I hope all of these are still available. Ooh, Apple Cider Donut Death. These names are insane. Look at this. Imagine like making these candles and you go home for Christmas and you're telling your family about what you're up to these days. You're like, oh, they're like, oh, you have a candle company. What's the name of one of your candles that you make? And they're probably thinking it's called like Sweet Grandma's Apple Pie, Afternoon at the Lagoon. But then you tell them the name of your candle is called Apple Cider Donut Death. That's when everyone at the family stops talking to you. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Mean looking pumpkin right there. That is pumpkin spice muffin. Bran muffin golden raisins with some crushed up rum candies. You know, those little, the rum candy, right? Imagine crushing it up to a fine grain and sprinkling it on top of that muffin. I get it. There's not a big fresh apple component, but this is apple cider donut. I definitely smelled the fried donut component. Would I venture to say apple cider? Could be, maybe. We gotta probably burn it to find out, or melt it to find out. I like that. Apple cider is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. We have pumpkin chai or die. Pumpkin chai or die. I don't know why I'm insisting on showing you guys when you probably can't even read it. It's pulled out of the same mold. That very angry pumpkin. Now chai is going to be more of the exotic spices. You know, the spices, well, at least for me, the spices I didn't grow up with. Maybe. Maybe like some cardamom. I was expecting like some star anise here. I was expecting a little bit of like cracked black pepper. It's not really that a spicy like cracked black pepper spice. Spicy baking spicy, but not. Pumpkin spice, pumpkin spice, baking spice, savory aromas. I'm sensing a theme here. I'm sensing a theme. Again, these were all sent to me in October for a Halloween video. But maybe next time, make sure that they're not too much the same, because the worst thing is when you're doing evaluations and you're just using the same descriptions. This one is called Arsenic Apple Crisp. Arsenic and old, or arsenic and black lace. Arsenic and old lace. Black lace. Cary Grant, Boris Karloff. That was a great film. And we have Dracula's coffin there. I think it's Dracula. Could be Nosferatu. I do not know. It's not fair to judge these. They're too small. I'm smelling a whole lot of plastic. These are paraffin. And I feel like I'm just repeating myself. Baking spices, apple notes, bakery notes, savory notes, butter notes. I think every single candle here falls into that category. So if this was a collection, this would be, you know, that sweet treats of good old-fashioned New England with a horror film spin to it. I would love, after smelling these candles, to see what other kind of fragrances, especially the conceptual ones, you know, ones based on movies, that SiC Wicks produces. She has, you know, very specific horror film inspired candles. Child's Play, Friday the 13th. I would love to dive into those, and that new collection that she had looked like body spray and was there lip balm? I can't remember, but it looked like had like this 80s Miami Vice kind of look to it, which was really cool. So I would love to see some more diverse fragrances from SiC Wicks. But I guess the conclusion is here, everything, I'm going to leave the tarts out because they're small. They've been sitting in this box for a long time, and I have the AC blasting in here because of the lights, which stifles the aroma. These candles, more or less, were medium plus candles. Will these candles, in my opinion, if you light them, fill an entire house, a loft, you know, a 15, 20 foot room? No. Tall room? No. We can't expect that from all candles, right? Especially candles that are made of harder wax. But if you have an enclosed room of a modest space, or if you're within a certain radius of these candles, I have full confidence that these will burn and smell beautiful, and you will smell all of those nuances that I was talking about. Again, will it blow your house down? No, I don't think so. That's okay for me, because I don't want that. For me personally, I don't want to leave my house, go to work, or go to the mall, or go to grocery shopping, and someone tell me that I smell like candles. There's nothing wrong with that, but to me, I like the medium intensity compared to the super high intensity candles. So I don't know if she makes these fragrances in a softer wax, but if you're looking for the explosive, blow your house down, punch in the face, that really powerful intensity in the candles, these might not work for you unless she makes like bigger ones. But to me, it suits my needs, and everything I smelled pretty good. Do I have a favorite? I have to go with that pecan one in the mason jar. Not just because it was in the mason jar, but I feel like to me that was the most balanced. But I really did like that first one, the apple bourbon. But arsenic and old lace. Why was I saying black lace? Arsenic and old lace. Thank you very much for correcting me on that, Lou. Shane did an analysis of the other the SiC Wicks candles on another video. Check it out to see some of her other Halloween candles. Definitely do that. I wish I could direct you where that is, but it was so long ago. I have her Trick or Treat and Living Deliciously candle. Shane, what sort of wax does SiC Wicks use? Soy blend? I don't know. And whenever I ask these companies that send products my way to send as much literature as they can, so I know a good deal about their products, and if I don't know, I can read it. But I don't think. I mean, if it could be a soy blend, I think the majority is a paraffin. It might be a paraffin soy blend. It's a bit hard. You can just tell by the consistency too, the look of it, that it's not. It's definitely not 100% soy. It's a great question. If anyone is checking out the website, maybe they can find out. Maybe that'll be a good reason to go over to check SiC Wicks out. Again, if you go over to Instagram and you follow SiC Wicks, just let her know the Candle Enthusiast sent you. That's right. That's right. Helps me out, helps them out, and it helps you out because we'll get more products in the future. And the more products we have, the more fun things we can do, like giveaways. Pecans make me homesick. Do you come from pecan land? A lot of walnuts in Napa Valley, where I live, but not pecans. Do you say pecan or pecans? Sorry about showing up late, Kazar. Not a problem at all. I haven't been. Sorry for not being on my main channel in a very long time. Should smell like almond cookies. Should smell like almond cookies. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I like that. Almond cookies sounds delish. Do you live by a pecan orchard? Is that what they're called? Orchards? Not farms, not orchards. I'll take any last few questions, and then we're going to wrap things up. And pecan, okay, that's how I say it, pecan. We're going to wrap things up, and I might do this more often. Go on the main channel here, do a live on Sunday, but keep it short, and then we'll wrap things up, and then we'll move to the second channel, aromatically speaking, and that'll be kind of like the after show. What we're doing now, where we can talk, we can open up the conversation to broader topics. You can ask me questions, I can ask you questions, I can show you all of the stuff that I have laying around that I just keeps building up, things that I want to show you, something that I knew I wasn't going to get to today, but we have to do this because I am a child at heart. I'm sorry, and I'm just a curious person. I found this at Michael's, and I was half repulsed and half amazed. It's called Jello Play. I showed this last week. Jello Play Monster Slime. This is an edible slime toy. It encourages you to play with it. It's like a slime. You play with it. But it says edible gelatin slime mix. Oh God. Nothing about this sounds great other than Jello. I like Jello, but this is what I'm talking about. This is aromatic. Let's smell it. Right? We're talking about aromatics on the show. We don't need to make it. We can smell it. We'll make it some other time. Oh, and should I try it? Absolutely no aroma. Fantastic. It looks like an illegal substance. Wonderful. Especially for the young kids. That is legitimately like a white powder. And it has no aroma. I guess the only thing I can do is to lick my finger. Taste it. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, that was such a mistake. How much salt is in this? It's salt. Is there salt in Jello? And it's not sweet at all, but yet it has 20 grams of sugar, including 20 added grams of sugar. It's 41% of your sugar daily value, one serving of this. And somehow it has 2 grams of protein. I don't know how that's possible. The good news is it has 70 grams of carbohydrates, Eric, in one serving. I don't know about that. We're still going to have to make this. But I thought that was going to be... That's a mistake. That was a mistake. Morgan with the super chat. Cruise Bat Morgan, thank you so much. I can't tell you the last time I've seen a super chat. On my second channel, I can't have super chats. Because even though I wanted it to be a small, intimate channel, YouTube won't allow super chats, nor will they allow monetization, ads, to be played before and after these videos. Meaning, we're not making a penny. I'm not making a penny. I don't want to make a penny, but the whole point of this is like, we're giving YouTube content for people to watch. The deal should be that they should be giving us at least a couple pennies. Thank you so much, Morgan. I really appreciate that. Morgan has been a long-time friend and follower of the channel, and I can safely say the only person I know who owns a pre-Sal Deerfield Yankee Candle. I've held a candle of that age before, of that era, late 70s, early 80s, but I don't know anyone who owns one other than a few that Mike Kittredge left behind at the Sturbridge, Massachusetts Yankee Candle location. So thank you very much for that $10. That's a huge, huge thank you. I truly appreciate that. I have to think of some way to reward you folks, pay you guys back for the super chats, add you to the credits of my videos or something, because I really appreciate that. Sick of YouTube squeezing out content makers. Yeah, it's I'm not an angry person. It's just kind of go with the flow. But it's like, you would think the people who need the most help are the modest, the small YouTubers, not the ones who has. Look, I'm never gonna have 3 million subscribers. That'd be great. I don't think that's gonna happen. So they should be throwing a bone to the folks who are really catering to the, this is a very intimate crowd that we have here. We're never going to have a Sunday with 1 million people tuning in on a live show, me talking about candles. I don't think so. Leave the candles to you is what I'm trying to say. I will leave. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, folks. What I might do is do more of these live videos, like I said, and then edit them and then repost them. So, because we've been on for a while now, right? 1 hour and 21 minutes. But this way, I can post like a 10-minute video of me just talking about the candles that we smelled today, condensing it down. But I just want to thank everyone for your continual support, especially since I have been absent for a while. A lot of people, I think, have assumed that I've gone away, that I've moved on, that I've lost interest. Anything that couldn't be further from the truth. If anything, while I'm on hiatus, I'm on this hiatus. I am constantly forming and sculpting the future of what I want to do with my time on YouTube, and how I'm going to delegate my time, and how I'm going to take incremental steps to pump out as much work as possible. And I couldn't do any of it without everyone's not just support, but genuine kindness. I can't state that enough. The number one thing with YouTubers or anybody who puts their face out there or name out there is that they're constantly trolled and just bombarded with negativity. And I can't tell you how the opposite my experience for the past 3 years has been. There's always that sour grape in the crowd, but for the most part, I have met nothing but fantastic, really interesting, really passionate, really friendly people. Some of you folks have become very close friends, and we haven't even met each other. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. All I can say is just hang in there while I'm trying to pull all the pieces back together. But until that time where I'm posting multiple videos on different channels, hopefully a couple videos a week, and I can be doing this full time, and then hopefully constantly be on the road. That's my dream. I just want to stay on the road with my cameras and just go and travel, and we'll just go and see and document all of the amazing things that are out there that the Travel Channel will never show us. I want to go out there and experience all of the things that I've ever wanted to see, but more importantly, I want to take you guys along on my adventures, my aromatic adventures. I want to take you guys along, not just show you where I'm going, but I want you to join me. I want you to experience my experiences with me in a vicarious fashion. That is my goal for my third channel and for my future travel destination-based videos, but there will always be candle evaluations and candle content. We're going to try to do a little bit more of, maybe get some interviews and maybe some tours, and really get more in-depth candle content, the philosophy of fragrance and aromatics, why it makes us so emotional and nostalgic, why we're drawn to things like candles, cologne, and perfumes, why we smell something, and how is that one aroma attached to a very special emotion or a memory. I really want to dig deep with aromatics, but also destination. And all I can say is just have a little bit of patience with me while I try to figure out how I'm going to do it. Everyone have a fantastic... look at that. I love it. I love it when Eric says, sounds like a great plan. I appreciate that, Eric. And look at this. I have to say this. Marie says, "You deserve all the support, Shane. Me and my boyfriend truly enjoy your content. We've been watching your old videos while you're working on your current videos. We can't wait to see what's next." I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, a little part of me feels so sad every time I get a comment on an old video. Someone who just found my channel and says, "I love this video. I love it so much. I'm subscribed. You know, when are you gonna be posting new videos?" You know, every morning, you know, I got that OCD going. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, I just want to be putting out awesome videos. And you know, whenever I get these comments and great feedback, it's just frustrating because all I want to do is just keep making videos, just keep doing it. I truly do think in some form or fashion is why I was put on this planet, was to be on the opposite end of the camera. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a fantastic Sunday. I don't know about you, where you are, but where I am, it is a beautiful Sunday, early evening. I'm gonna go out, get some sun. I'm gonna get some good old-fashioned vitamin D and then start working on dinner. And I'm gonna put something good on Netflix, on the tube. I hope you do the same. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you guys' support every day, every moment. Thank you so much. I will be seeing you guys soon, but until then, be good, will ya? Now I gotta do this uncomfortable transition where I try to remember how I finish. Again, different format. I have to stop. How do I end the stream? Oh, this is so uncomfortable. Like, I did my sign out and I'm still going. Everyone hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind. I'd really appreciate it. And one more time, huge shout out to Cruisebad for the $10 super chat. If you guys ever have $1 or whatever you can afford, 10 cents, super chats are awesome. I really appreciate it. Have a good one. Talk to you soon, guys.